Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are talking about the SC-200, the Microsoft certification for security operations. This is the cert that I recommend for landing your first SOC analyst job, and there has never been a better time to cover it because the exam just changed and most of the advice online is now pretty much out of date. So everything I'm about to give you is current, it's official, and it is completely free. So save this video and let's get into it. Now, what even is SC-200, right? It is Microsoft's exam for Security Operations Analyst, and it tests three things that role actually does. You triage alerts, you respond to incidents, and you hunt for threats that never fired in the first place. Now, the exam covers those skills across Microsoft's security track. Sentinel is the SIEM, so that is where your logs collect and your investigations happen. And the Defender tools are where you take action once you find something real. Now, underneath all of this sits KQL, which is the query language they use to search logs. And quite frankly, being comfortable in KQL is the difference between passing and failing this exam. Now, the logistics behind the exam are pretty friendly. You get 100 minutes, you need a 700 out of 1,000 to pass, and it costs around $165 to do it, depending on your region. Now, once you have the certification, renewal is free online and it is an assessment that you will take every year. Now, here is the part where most videos are now getting it wrong, right? As of this April, the exam is scored across three areas, not the four that you're going to see from older guides. Managing the security operations environment is now the biggest domain, sitting at about 40 to 45%, which means basically nearly half of your score comes from setup work, connecting data sources, configuring detections, and building automation. Now, responding to incidents is right up behind it at about 40%, and threat hunting kind of covers the rest. Any course still showing incident response as the top domain is teaching the old exam, and it does get worse, folks, because another update is going to land on July 28th. So treat the official study guide as your source of truth and basically check everything that you're watching against it, including this video. So, three domains that we were talking about previously play out across six tools, and two of them are going to deserve most of your attention. Sentinel is going to be considered your home base. All of your logs flow into it, your alerts fire from it, and every investigation starts there, which means, you know, that's why it's 40%. All right. Because that domain is mostly just learning about Sentinel as a concept and about all of the plumbing that kind of goes along with it. Now, Defender for Endpoint is the second priority. That is where you investigate device timelines and take action on machines, including pulling a compromised laptop off of the network while you work. Now, the other four basically support those two. Purview handles the Microsoft 365 investigation side. Copilot now shows up embedded inside incident investigations, and Defender for Cloud covers your Azure workloads. Now, you're going to want to learn all six, but give your serious hours again to Sentinel and Endpoint. All right, here is your overarching plan for studying this. 8 weeks at 6 to 8 hours each week. And it is ordered the same way that the exam is weighted. So the first 2 weeks are pure Sentinel because that is the biggest domain, and everything else kind of connects back to it. You set up a workspace, you wire in data sources, and you write your first queries. They will feel clumsy, and that is fine. Just keep writing them, all right? Now, weeks 3 and 4 are going to move you through the Defender tools. Week 5, you build detections and automation, which feeds that same top domain. And then week 6, you learn to hunt. By week 7, you should know enough to get real value from the lab. So that whole week is going to just be lab building. And then week 8 is going to be review and retesting. And then after that, you can book the exam. Now, this slide here is going to be your starter kit, and every link on it is official. The study guide sits at the top because the entire plan is built around it. Under that, you have the free practice assessment and then a sandbox where you can kind of click through the actual exam interface before test day, which takes a surprising amount of nerves out of the room. At least it did for me. Now, screenshot this slide, save this deck, and then keep watching because the next two slides are going to be where the teaching kind of happens. Now, These three learning paths are your Sentinel education and they build on each other. So take them in order. The first one walks you through standing up your environment. The second one teaches analytic rules, which are queries that run on a schedule and raise alerts on their own. And the first time a rule you wrote catches something, this whole field kind of stops feeling less, theoretical and is more applicable. Now, that third path is going to take you into hunting, where you search for what never triggered an alert at all. Your KQL sharpens with every pass you finish here because it's going to be a lot of learning the language. So this is the Defender track, and the endpoint path is the one to respect. Okay, 9 modules, about 5 hours, the longest path in the whole plan, and it earns that because the response domain leans on endpoint harder than anything else. I would give this about a full week. The Copilot and Purview tasks are shorter and kind of fit in around it, but they matter more than they used to since Copilot now appears inside exam investigations, and Purview carries the Microsoft 365 side. Basically, every path you finish also leaves you with a badge, and those are worth adding to LinkedIn and kind of beefing up your portfolio while you're job hunting. These here are the official exam readiness videos where Microsoft trainers walk through real sample questions and kind of explain why the wrong answers are wrong. And that reasoning is exactly the muscle that you're going to need on test day. So, one honest note, since we covered the update, the titles still follow the older exam layout, and you'll even see the old percentages on on those pages. But the tools and tasks and all of the language that they use and cover in this are the same ones that are going to be tested on the exam. So use them as your week 8 review once the material is pretty much already in your head. Now, these here are the official hands-on labs free on GitHub, and out of everything in this video, they are going to move your score the most because this exam rewards people who have actually done the tasks and have a little bit of experience being very hands-on. And in the labs, you're going to write real hunting queries against sample data so you can connect data sources yourself and work a full investigation the same way you would as if you were an analyst. If you pair this stuff with, a free Azure account and a couple of accoutrements, you'll basically have a pretty great practice environment for basically nothing. Now, this last layer here is the documentation, and most candidates never open it. Whenever a Learn module feels thin, or a video feels thin, or you want to know something specific, the docs underneath are going to be what are carrying that depth, and they go far past what the exam will ever really ask. And that's what makes this one slide stay really useful because if you go through and you at least, I mean, dang, if you at least throw it in Chat GDP and kind of get some notes out of it and try to read along, it'll be a lot easier to understanding the material when you get to the videos. Because what I normally do is I read, I watch a video, and I watch the video. I don't take notes, and then I watch the video again while taking notes. That way, I'm actually absorbing the information. And some people like taking computer notes, but I will say writing things down and actually, mapping it out in your head is going to be a lot more beneficial in the long run. Now, here is your move this week, all right? Read the study guide first, so the current exam is the one that you are preparing for. Then take the free practice assessment before you study a single module, okay? Your score will be low, and that is the point because now you at least have a baseline, and watching that number climb over 8 weeks will carry your motivation far further than anything that I could really say here. Now, after that, week 1 is simple. Open Sentinel and get started. That's the full roadmap, y'all. Current as of this exam version, and I will do probably an update on the 28th when they update all of this stuff and release new videos. But every single part of this is free, so now you get to pick up where this series goes next. I can kind of do a bunch of different things here. I could build out the Defender labs, or I could do a full KQL deep dive. So drop your vote or your comments below, and every part of this deck and the links and all of this are also going to be in the comment section on TikTok, and it'll be in the video description on YouTube. So make sure you follow, like, subscribe, all of that stuff because there's going to be a lot more coming. And I'm going to do a plug for the Supergirl movie. Sponsor me. It was really good. Highly recommend. Got a t-shirt and everything. But I hope you guys have a great week and awesome Friday. Please post comments. Give me suggestions. Give me things to go after. All right. See you in the next one.